3,500 American Marines just arrived in the Persian Gulf. Iran's parliament speaker has one message for them. We are waiting. On March 27, 2026, Day 28 of Operation Epic Fury, the USS Tripoli arrived in U.S. Central Command's area of operations. It left its home base in Sasebo, Japan 2 weeks ago. On board, 2,500 Marines, F-35 stealth fighter jets, Osprey aircraft, and full amphibious assault capabilities. It now joins 2 nuclear aircraft carrier strike groups. The USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea and the USS Gerald R. Ford, which just pulled into Croatia for emergency repairs after a month of combat operations. That's 50,000 American service members now positioned in the Middle East. The question everyone is asking, are they here to negotiate or to invade? Iran's parliament speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf didn't mince words. He accused the United States of, and I quote, secretly planning a ground invasion while talking of negotiations. His message to American forces: our fighters are waiting for them. This is not just tough talk. Ghalibaf is now one of Iran's most senior surviving civilian leaders, after the U.S. and Israel assassinated Iran's top security chief Ali Larijani earlier this month. Iran's Navy chief went even further, threatening to target the USS Abraham Lincoln the moment it comes within firing range, saying Iran will, quote, avenge the blood of the martyrs of a warship the U.S. sank on March 4th. So is a ground invasion actually being planned? According to the Washington Post, yes. The Pentagon is actively preparing for what sources describe as weeks of ground operations inside Iran. The targets under consideration include raids on Karg Island, Iran's oil export hub we covered in our last video, and operations along Iran's coastline near the Strait of Hormuz to locate and destroy weapons capable of targeting ships. One official said the objectives would probably take weeks, not months, to complete. CNBC. The plan involves special operations forces backed by infantry, not a full-scale invasion, but a targeted ground campaign. And the USS Tripoli is exactly the ship you send when you want that option ready. But not everyone wants this war to escalate. On Sunday, March 29th, Pakistan hosted an emergency four-way summit in Islamabad, bringing together the foreign ministers of Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan. Their goal: find a diplomatic exit before a ground invasion makes peace impossible. Pakistan's foreign minister announced the country is prepared to host direct U.S.-Iran talks in coming days. And in a small but significant breakthrough, Iran has agreed to allow 20 ships under Pakistani flags to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, 2 ships per day. PBS. It's a tiny crack in the door, but it may be the most important diplomatic signal of this entire conflict. Meanwhile, inside Iran, the government is doing something that tells you everything about how desperate the situation has become. Iran's paramilitary Basij force, which operates under the Revolutionary Guard, has launched a nationwide volunteer recruitment campaign. The minimum age to sign up? 12 years old. Roles include intelligence patrols, checkpoint duties, and operational support. And if you thought this conflict couldn't get more complex, enter Israel. The IDF announced it is now just days away from hitting every target it classifies as a top priority inside Iran. Prime Minister Netanyahu has also ordered an expansion of Israel's security buffer zone in southern Lebanon, where Israeli forces are exchanging fire daily with Hezbollah. Israel is fighting on multiple fronts simultaneously: Iran, Lebanon, and maintaining pressure across the entire region. This is no longer just a U.S.-Iran conflict. This is a regional war, and it is spreading. Here is the date you need to remember: April 6, 2026. That is the deadline Trump has given Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz unconditionally. Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff has delivered a 15-point action list to Iran, covering a ceasefire, restrictions on Iran's nuclear program, and full reopening of the strait. Iran says it has not engaged in any negotiations. That leaves 8 days. 8 days for diplomacy to work, or for the most powerful military on Earth to make its next move. So what actually happens if April 6 comes and Iran hasn't moved. Option 1. Trump extends the deadline and keeps the pressure on. Possible, but it damages U.S. credibility. Option 2. Targeted strikes escalate. More infrastructure, more military sites, more pressure on Tehran. Option 3. The USS Tripoli's Marines go ashore. A limited ground operation to seize Karg Island or clear the Strait. Weeks of combat. Unpredictable consequences. And whatever option plays out, the world's oil supply hangs in the balance. The Strait of Hormuz carries 20% of global oil. Every day it stays even partially closed, the pressure on gas prices, global supply chains, and the world economy builds. This is not just a Middle Eastern war. This is a war the entire world is already paying for. 30 days in, 13 American service members dead. Nearly 300 wounded. Thousands of Iranian casualties. And now 3,500 Marines sitting in the Persian Gulf, waiting for orders. The next 8 days will define whether this war de-escalates or crosses a line nobody can walk back from. If you want to stay ahead of this story, subscribe to the Global Hegemony right now. Hit the bell. Because this is moving fast, and we will cover every development as it happens.